Hi, it's Tim Michelle Birdsong, daughter of the sun, Eve, mother of all living, a psychic researcher. This is part 4. Eve defends Columbus on Columbus Day. We're looking at a picture of Melanie L. Spear, explorer Christopher Columbus, B.S. St. Patrick, former slave, and beginning at age 16. B.S. genius tormented soul painter Vincent van Gogh. Those are the parallel lives of Melanie Lynn Spear. So let us begin part 4. Columbus had warned the treasure fleet gathering in the harbor not to put to sea till the storm had passed. Nicholas D. Ovando, the local governor, ignored the warning and the treasure fleet put to sea. Columbus sheltered his own ships in a nearby estuary, and all 4 ships survived the storm with moderate damage. The large fleet was, however, caught by the storm and 20 ships were lost. He'd warned them, with them Bobadillo, Roldan, and the gold destined for the crown. The admiral's share of the gold, 4,000 pieces, was not lost, and on arriving in Spain was not confiscated. Hence, Columbus should have had large funds for his retirement. He did not. He is owed large funds by Spain and the West in general. After a short stop at Jamaica, Columbus then sailed to Central America, arriving at Guanaja, Isla de Pinos, in the Bay Islands off the coast of Honduras on July 30th, 1502. On August 14, he landed on the American mainland at Puerto Costilla, near Trujillo, Honduras. He spent 2 months exploring the coast of Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica before arriving in Almirante Bay, Panama on October 16, 1502. In 1984 or 85, Azura, being as 9-year-old Robin Birdsong, arrived in Central America, including in Nicaragua, with Dr. Gerald Jampolsky's group Children as Teachers of Peace. Robin asked the communist socialist dictator Juan Ortega a question that was broadcast on radio. Nikola Tesla, B.S. T. Michelle Birdsong, invented radio. He currently B.S. Mary Magdalene T. Michelle Birdsong. Even after the charges had been levied against him by some, King Ferdinand funded Columbus a 4th voyage across the Atlantic. Obviously, the king still had full faith in Christopher Columbus being as a good man, a good human. 1502, the famous explorer's final voyage. He was ill. On May 11, 1502, Christopher Columbus set out on his 4th and final voyage to the New World with a fleet of 4 old ships with 140 men under his command. Among those accompanying him were his brother and younger son, Fernando, then 13 years old. At 51, Columbus was sick, but felt he had one more voyage left in him. He sailed to Azura, Robin Birdsong, Adam, and Eve's youngest child. So Columbus sailed to Azilla on the Moroccan coast to rescue the Portuguese soldiers who were being besieged by the Moors. On June 15th, they landed at Carbet on the island of Martinique. A hurricane was forming, so he continued on, hoping to find shelter in Hispaniola. Columbus arrived at Santo Domingo on June 29, 1502, and requested that he be allowed to enter the harbor to shelter from the imminent hurricane. 13-year-old son, Fernando B.S., misunderstood Cain from the Garden of Eden. He'd been protecting his mother Eve from Abel, who insisted on continuing breastfeeding, though he was too old and was hurting his mother. One day Cain became fed up, snatched Abel so hard from the mother's teat that Abel fell back and down, hitting his head on a sharp rock and bleeding to death. Beset by storms and contrary winds, Columbus finally returned from what's present-day Panama to the mouth of the Rio Belen, western Panama, on January 9, 1503, and building a garrison fort there as he explored the area. As he was preparing to return to Spain, he took 3 of his ships out of the river, leaving one with the garrison. April 6th, a large force of Indians attacked the garrison. The Spanish managed to hold off the attack but lost a number of men and realized that the garrison could not be held for long. Columbus rescued the remaining members of the garrison, losing one of his ships in the process. The 3 remaining ships, now badly leaking from shipworm, sailed for home on April 16th. Off the coast of Cuba, they were hit by yet another storm. The last of the ship's boats was lost, and one of the caravels was so badly damaged that she had to be taken in tow by the flagship. Both ships were leaking very badly now, and water continued to rise in the hold in spite of constant pumping by the crew. Finally able to keep them afloat no longer, Columbus beached the sinking ships in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica, on June 25, 1503. Since there was no Spanish colony on Jamaica, they were marooned. Columbus and his men were stranded on Jamaica for a year. Stranded. S for sea, T for the, ran, Ayn Rand, E.G. for edits. See the Ayn Rand edits. Eve, Venus, daughter of the sun. I for pleasure, TS for talk and share. TS for tuffet and sail. Eve, Venus, daughter of the sun. Pleasure, talk and share. Tuffet and sail. Diego Mendez, one of Columbus's captains, bought a canoe from a local chief and sailed it to Hispaniola. He was promptly detained by Governor Ovando outside the city for the next 7 months. Ovando currently being as Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York. Mendez was refused use of a caravan to rescue the expedition. In a desperate effort to get the natives to continue provisioning him and his hungry men, Columbus successfully wooed the natives wowed the natives by correctly predicting an eclipse, which made the natives believe Mendez, Columbus's god, was angry at them. So to appease God, they continued to feed Mendez, or else it was Columbus and his crew. Mendez vs. star of Braveheart movie, Mel Gibson. Meanwhile, half of those left on Jamaica staged a mutiny against Columbus, which he eventually put down when Ovando, I said he put down the mutiny, right? Then, when Ovando Cuomo finally allowed Mendez, Mel Gibson into Santo Domingo, there were no ships available for the rescue. Domingo. Do, M-I-N-G, Ming Dynasty, order. Marry. Jay Chen and Mild Red. Marry. Jay Chen's office on Broome and Allen Street in New York City. They were king and queen during the Ming Dynasty. They are business partners today. The business is mainstreaming clues to the marginalized. This is Jay Chen. This is Mild Red Michelle. This is a t-shirt with Singh and Jandara. They sell t-shirts. This is about 2006. They were selling t-shirts and mugs before anybody else was selling. Now everybody's selling t-shirts and mugs. They were also selling the book, Sneezy the Greasy Babysits Abigail. And here's another t-shirt of Singh's hand playing guitar, Sing Birdsong being as the greatest instrumentalist in the history of rock music, Jimi Hendrix. This is Sing Birdsong. This is another businessman. They're small business people, entrepreneurs. This is another one, Ray Kelly. He makes guitars from old buildings that have really good wood. And Singh took his beams from his building and to Ray, and he made him 2 guitars. He also makes guitars, hand makes guitars for Bob Dylan. His office is in the West Village. This is T. Michelle Birdsong when she was one of the first black stewardesses for American Airlines. And this is a flying partner. This is Vicki Gallen, another black stewardess for American Airlines. They're standing in the doorway of a 727 jet. Okay, let's continue. Finally, Mel Gibson was able to charter a small caravel which arrived at Jamaica on June 29, 1504, and rescued the expedition. Columbus returned home to Spain on November 7, 1504, his last voyage complete. The 10th reason Columbus, the 10th accomplishment of Columbus. Columbus is regarded as a major figure in Spanish history. Christopher Columbus, currently being as Melanie L. Spear, was born in St. Vincent's Hospital down the street from PS 41 in the West Village of Manhattan, New York. Melanie, being as Christopher Columbus, is regarded as one of the most prominent figures in Spanish history. His contribution has been commemorated via a monument that stands as a tall pillar pointing towards the sea in Barcelona. In addition to this, Columbus Day is celebrated in America on the second Monday of October. While he was unable to fulfill his dream of finding a new passage to Asia, Christopher Columbus's 4 voyages gave headway to events that shaped the world for hundreds of years. In this regard, he is rightly considered one of the most influential explorers in history. Events. EVE for Eve. VE for venture. T for talk, S for share. Eve's venture is talk and share. What is this? EVESRARE. Talk and share. Rescued America and the world from madness. Okay. And him connecting East and West, Columbus connecting East and West hemisphere has led to the prosperity of the West, and the West has spread the knowledge, the wealth. Right now, communist China has become capitalist China. They are thriving thanks to Columbus being, as Melanie Lynn Spear, those billions of people are living the good life, having learned from American capitalists. Meanwhile, Columbus, Melanie L. Spear St. Patrick, has for 15 years cultivated her family of saints, including her son Seth, be as Mr. Rogers, her son Lou, be as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., her daughter Jandara Michelle, be as Uncle Sam, be as Shirley Temple, and her youngest daughter, Ostara Gloria, be as New Year's baby, be as Saint Kabir.